Good evening, everyone. Another DJ interview starring me, the big dog. And I want to take a second to thank everybody who's tuning in from YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. So thank you guys a lot. Let's bring in our next guest. Now, this guy I've known for 40 plus years. Let's bring it up for DJ Tommy. Wait. The international DJ Tommy.
Thank you. Thank
What's
you.
up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. You just aged us, bro.
I know.
And I got the gray hair too, so it's like, yeah, he
I
looked 40
got one
plus.
or two over here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I want to thank you very much for having me, man. This is an amazing concept and an amazing idea that you're doing, and I know I'm excited, and I know the rest of a lot of the other DJs. I saw the excitement with them, so I got my hair and makeup done. I got my beard a little. I couldn't wait to partake in this, man. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. So, how's everything out there? Family's good. Everything.
Yeah, New York, New York is, it's funny. The pandemic is kind of fading out. We in phase one. My family is fine. Earlier, it was a little rough. We lost some people. But it's starting to level off now. And, things like this is making things feel a little normal. You know what I'm saying? Like something to look forward to. We probably get in the subject of streaming, me streaming and, me watching other DJs streaming. It kind of, gave us a detour of what's real life is going on and the pandemic. And whoever thought the pandemic would be kind of secondary to everything else that's going on. Very much for having me, man.
Yeah, you're so right. The people we lost. I was saying last night, I wanted to dedicate an episode to all the DJs out there that our fallen DJs.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of them, so I'm gonna be reaching out to you guys to find out who it is.
Yeah, we definitely can talk about that. That'd be great. And that's another thing. What I think this is amazing. Like, who's doing that? You know what I'm saying? There's nobody doing that. Like, people who just gone and they touch so many people, especially DJs touch so many people. And once we lose somebody, it's like, oh, it's over. They give parties and all of that, but it's really not a memorial to me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think the best thing is like to have something like this and we can talk about it and, remember this and remember that and kind of celebrate their life by their memory,
Right.
So.
Definitely. So let's get this thing going.
Let's do it.
When did Tommy Lee turn international DJ Tommy Lee? And I got a surprise for you. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, really?
When did you get this itch to start DJing, to start picking up records? Because you came in the vinyl era,
it's heavy in the vinyl. Yeah. Well, if we've been friends 40 years, people know that we older than 40, right?
A little
bit. So hip hop is 45 years, and we older than that. So when I got the urge to DJ, man, which is basically hearing music in our neighborhoods in the Bronx, in the parks, and just looking at the energy that the DJ brought. And I probably already dated ourselves, but the MC wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? That guy was the DJ. I remember growing up and, and some people of age can notice when they used to rope off the parties and, there was always, I think the MC started by telling the kids like me, yo, back up off the rope. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time that person that usually say something on the microphone. He make announcements, and I was that kid that was always leaning on the rope, looking at the DJ, just looking at all of the energy that he was surrounded by. And fortunately, I grew up in the Bronx, and within the Bronx, I grew up. There you go. Within the Bronx, right? I grew up in Edenwald Projects, and people like Harry and oh, you got 1159 on there too. Yeah, that's the building. That's the building we grew up in.
I build it
So
right.
right. So I was fortunate. There was man, I don't. It was like 3 or 4 DJs that was in our building alone, and I was fortunate to bump into and know them and go to their house and actually see what they was doing. And shout out to my man George. He was like the guy. Like the first time I ever saw like 2 turntables and a mixer. But you know,
Yeah.
by me really getting the bug was my mother. You know, I was always surrounded by music, and I never forget, man. I was of age, I don't know, maybe 9, 10, or whatever. And you know, your parents is a little older. I mean, your parents think you're a little older than what you really are, and you should be seeing certain things that you should be seeing. But I was the guy, like, you know, oh, put this record on, you know, while they hanging out and they didn't want to stop and put the record on and look for a record. So my mother told me, you know, put this record on. And I never forget I played Kool and the Gang, Open Sesame. And that song just came on and it just felt right. Like I just got this feeling in my bones, like, man, what is this? This is crazy. And then everybody at the party just turned around and looked at me, and I thought I did something wrong. But they was like, yo, that was a good song you picked. And I guess ever since that point, I got, you know, I didn't know how to get it again, to be honest with you. I didn't know how to get that feeling again. You know what I'm saying? But I knew, I didn't know I did something right. But then I met the guys in my building, and we was DJing. And I really wasn't a DJ. I was really a guy that was just paying attention to a lot. So I just wanted to be down. So I said, okay, I'm a rapper. And I just wanted to be
So it
around
wasn't
it.
international DJ Tommy Lee. It was international MC Tommy Lee.
It wasn't even international. And the international part, well, let me get back to Tommy Lee. So we all grew up in the projects, and and Tommy Lee is my real name. That's what's so crazy about it. And there was another guy in my building named Tommy Cobb. So everybody used to say, "Oh, did you see Tommy?" And everybody used to say, "Well, what Tommy you talking about? Tommy Cobb or Tommy Lee?" Yeah. So it was like, "No, Tommy Cobb." Oh, I thought you was talking about Tommy Lee. So my first and last name became my first entire name. So everybody referred to me as Tommy Lee. And then my uncle, my mother's brother, he was straight up a street person, you know what I'm saying? In and out of jail, doing things that he shouldn't be doing. And I remember hearing him always saying, I'm an international player. I'm an international player. And I had no concept of what that meant. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I knew I felt I needed a DJ name, and I didn't want, you know, DJ something. And I wanted a title. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I wanted to feel like I wanted to be separated from everybody else when they say my name. And then I realized, like, yo, I want to be international. You know, like I think Brucey B was world famous and all of that stuff, but there was rarely global people names. You know what I'm saying? And then I was doing a party somewhere, and somebody put internationally known Tommy Lee, and that's when I took it serious. I said, no, that's not true. I'm not internationally known. I'm international. And I knew from that point, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be that type of DJ to go different places. And if you think it will come in. You put it in the air, basically. And you know, you just start working towards your goals. Mind you, I had no idea how to get there. But I was into
How
that.
everything happens. No idea how to do it, but
Exactly.
you want to do it.
I like something that you said on your
In
when
the
you
house.
started your thing. When you started your your interview, like how many people you had, and it was zero. And it's so true, because I remember, I had a half a crate of records. You know what I'm saying? And I had a house party, and you brought your equipment over, and I woke up one day because you left it, and I looked at it. I'm like, man, I want to wake up to see something like that every day. And from then, man, I was like, let me get my coins, let me put money to the side, and let me start from there, from zero.
From zero. Everybody
Exactly.
from zero.
Exactly.
DJ Cam's in the house. Sky is
What up,
in the
Killer?
house. Yeah, Chris Gloss is in.
What's
DJ
up, y'all?
What's up? So we grew up in Edenwald, and there were a lot of stuff going on. We had basketball court.
Yep.
We had 112 Park.
The big park.
We had Sousa.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you start honing your skills at?
It's funny because there was no YouTube, there was no internet and stuff like that. It was just going to the park, man, and like I said, I was against the ropes, and just looking at people, and I had no idea what to do. But like I said before, back in the early '80s, George, and he had the crew that was in the building and stuff like that, and he was just telling me like simple things, like, no, you got to mix it on the 8 count, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he has his way of communicating.
Shout out to George, if you're here, let us know.
Right. He has his way of communicating, and it was effective, and I just learned certain things. But I think what was important before all of that was like me being surrounded by music through my mother and through my fathers. And I forget who was, I think it was Fame or one of your other guests. They said that they had their parents' music, and the father had his music, and they put their names on it. That was so true. And I remember seeing my mother's name, and she wrote the name and the date, and she got I don't know if anybody remember this, but like Crazy Eddie, they used to sell vinyl, and the Wiz, they used to sell, you know what I'm saying, right? The Insane, right? So they used to sell vinyl. So all of that vinyl was around me. 45s. I think I still got 45s somewhere. I got 45s, and all of that stuff was around me. So and I just absorbed music. I just loved music. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. So going to the 80s into the 90s. When did you officially start DJing? Like actually got
professional
your equipment?
I got my first turntable like 89. I got my first turntable 89. I think I got the second one a year later.
What was it?
It's the same ones I got now. Like, I don't know if you see them. Can you see them?
So
it's the same with the techniques,
right?
The technique.
Last.
The 1200s, but these are the 1210s.
Okay.
The first time they came out in black. That's when I first got it. Am I still in shot? Because I lift the camera.
Yeah, you still.
Okay. The first series of 1200s that came out in black, I bought the first ones, and to this day, I still have them and I still play on them.
Wow.
Yeah, I still have them to this day.
Techniques work. So everybody who got theirs, keep them.
Goodness, like take care of them and like, I mean, what we do to them and how we treat them is amazing. And the only thing I had to do was like change the back of the wire and just replacing the needles and that's basically it. So that was about. I'm sorry. So that was about 90. I think I had my full set, like 90. I had my 2 turntables and I had a Gemini what is it, 19-inch mixer. It had a 19-inch mixer.
That long one with the EQ on the side.
It had I think a
All
seven
weird
band.
noises.
No. It had a 7-band equalizer on the left and a 7-band equalizer on the right, and it had a prom where you put your light, and then another prom you put your microphone,
Your mic.
and I love that mixer. And you had to break it in. You had to rub it and break it in. There was no contour. There was no nothing. I love that mixer.
Tommy, DJ Sky said he still has his.
Really? What up, Sky? I was checking him out on Instagram. Check out my man DJ Sky. I don't know when the next time he's gonna go live, but check him out. He was playing good music today, some good R&B.
Oh, cool. We may get him on and talk to him on one of these interviews.
Yeah, he got stories too. Sky been on the road with me a lot. I took him almost everywhere I went.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentored him really well. P Nice said, "What's up?"
What up, Pete? I gotta come to, and that's another person. I gotta come to Pete's house because Paul. It's funny. I feel like P Nice was a DJ before me, but he just never committed to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know he got his system now, so we're gonna go check him out and see how we can support them. You know what I'm saying? Because them guys always support me, man. And I don't know how much of a situation I am that I can help them as far as getting them parties or whatever. But if they ready, man, I would definitely put them in situations. And Sky can contest to that. You know what I'm saying? Sky worked hard, and Sky was there opening for me, and we moving records and speakers in the rain. You know what I'm saying? And whatever. Anytime I had opportunities to put him in something, he was definitely there.
Yeah. Big shout out to DJ Sky. We may have him on soon. So let's keep this thing going to 90. You said about 89, 90, you got your full set.
Right.
We've been talking about the last, X amount of interviews. We've been talking about you become a professional when you get paid. So when was your first paying gig? I don't care if it was $10 or 25 or 50.
I don't remember my first paying gig. But I know my first party I did. I used to live on the 14th floor, and there was a girl on the 9th floor, Kamel. May her rest in peace. She had a party, and I think my sister said, my brother DJ or whatever, and I brought my stuff down on the elevator and did her house party. I did that part. I DJed for 12 hours. I swear. I was just so excited to DJ. I ran a wire from her bedroom to a speaker all the way in the living room. I didn't know about monitors. I didn't know about anything. But I just was loving DJing. I was just loving DJing. And then I got some other parties. I don't remember getting paid though. But I know when I got into a club in the city, that's when I started making money, and that was like 94, 95.
I was gonna say, let's go there. Let's fast track to, you're already getting established. Were you doing mainly like house parties? Were you local, or did you go straight to the clubs?
What's funny? And I think I can't blame it on my name. Like, who knew how my career started and was going to turn out, not just because of my name. But I did really minimal house parties. It just turned out that way. I did Kamel's house party, and then I did a party in the Bronx on Pelham Parkway. One of our good friends from Edenwald, and then me and my friends was like, "Yo, let's throw a party." And we was gonna go to this place. We was gonna go to this place on 8th Avenue called St. Remo's. If a lot of people in the Bronx, a lot of people in New York know about this place. It was like a restaurant bar on 8th Avenue in New York City. And me and my two friends was walking down this block, and we came across this. We saw them loading beers and sodas into this. We didn't know what they was loading the beers and sodas to be honest with you. So we walked in, and we was like, "Yo, look at this place. This is like a bar or something." So instead of going to St. Remo's, we said, "Let's go to this place." And we talked to the person, and can we throw a party here? And they said, "Yeah, okay, you can throw a party." We ain't no idea what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? And I started DJing in this club, and I mean, we didn't make no money, but we had a couple of people that come through and everything. And this other guy came through, and he was exactly from zero. And this other guy came through, and he was a promoter, like straight up promoter. And he talked to my friend, and he said, "Yo, I like this, whatever, whatever." But he didn't really say anything. So we stopped doing it. It was on a Wednesday, and then my friend said, "Hey, this guy is doing a party, doing the club where we was doing our parties at." And I thought I was going to feel away because he probably didn't know about this place unless it was because of us. But he called me and said, "Yo, do you want to DJ?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, I don't care." So I went down there and I DJ'd in the same little room, and there was nobody there. Absolutely nobody. So I got maybe 2 cases of records or something, and I'm DJing, and my two friends come up, and I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Nah, you sound good." I was like, "Oh, you hear me?" And he said, "Yeah, they playing it through the whole place." And I was like, "Okay." So they leave, and I'm by myself looking at an empty dance floor. They come back up maybe a half an hour later, and they said, "Yo, there's people downstairs." I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." Another half an hour later, they come. He'd be like, "Yo, they trying to get upstairs." I'm like, "Really? There's people downstairs?" And he said, "Yeah, like they trying to come upstairs." Mind you, I ain't seen not one person besides my two friends that's telling me that there's people. So I don't know if they trying to be nice or whatever. I'm glad that I was concentrating.
Feeling sorry for you.
Right. I thought they're being sorry. Yeah, all right. You got another 8 hours to go. Just keep playing. And they let everybody in. And I was like, "Holy crap." And everybody looking at the DJ, like, "Oh, that's the DJ, that's where he's at." And I ran out of records. So I started my set over, and everybody was dancing. And then all of a sudden, Cool DJ Red Alert comes in there. And he just looks in the DJ booth. And I was like, "Oh, there go the real DJ. I'm out of here." And I started grabbing my stuff, and I moved my records and everything. He's like, "No, you good. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I couldn't focus anymore. You know what I'm saying? But that night,
Red Alert, if you're here, give a shout out.
let me tell you, everybody knows Red. Like everybody come across them, and they say they know Red. I was the same way, but that night, that's when our friendship became like a true friendship that night. And he played, and I played, and he got on. He didn't rush me off or anything, and I was willing to stop playing anyway because I ran out of records. And
You only had 2 crates, right?
I had like 2 crates of records, and he started playing, and there was some people that I met. They was like, "Yo, you was really good." I'm like, I really didn't know how to take it. You know what I'm saying? And then the promoter said, "If you ever want to DJ, you can come back." And I was like, "Really?" So every Friday I went back to this place, and to make a long story short, we was there for 3 years. It was one of the hottest clubs in New York, Club Downtime.
Nice.
And I know a lot of people know me from Downtime. Like, and what's so cool about it is New York Undercover. That's when New York Undercover was hot. And the front of the club they used to go to, I think it was Jolene's or something. That was the club I used to work at. So whenever New York Undercover came on, I think it was Thursday, they showed the front of the club that I used to work at.
Yeah.
That was just like extra promotion. And Red was on the radio.
Time.
So
Howie D said, Red is that dude.
yes, he is, man. Yes, he is.
He knows the feeling.
Yeah, and what I want to tell, and I know this is usually at the end of um the interview, but I just want to make sure I tell this. Any new DJs or any DJs that's out there or anybody that's want to do anything, create your own opportunity. They wasn't gonna call me to do that club. You know what I'm saying? I was a relatively nobody DJ, and people used to come to the club like, "Who's this guy? Like, how is he here?" I knew how to play, but that didn't really matter. Like, who is this guy? I don't know this guy, but me and my friends creating an opportunity for us to do our own night and us to. I met other people, and then they met other people. Then they put me in. And I guess he felt a little like, all right, I'd throw him a bone because of the fact that if it wasn't these guys, I wouldn't have known about this spot. And, they used my name and my friend's name to get in the club. So he threw me a bone. And I didn't get paid in the club. I was there 3 years. I got paid after 6 months. And in the first 3 months, my name wasn't on the flyer. So I was just doing it because I loved it. And I never figured there was a crazy mad storm and I couldn't drive. Everything was shut down and I took the train down there. And I was me and two other people was the only person in that club. And they was like, "Why are you here?" I was like, "We got a DJ, right?" And I guess they looked at me like, "Yo, this dude is for real. He wants to DJ."
Really?
And ever since then, man, I was there, and it was, I left downtime, and I got my own place down in Fulton Street called Fahrenheit. Was it Fahrenheit? Fantasia.
Okay.
It was Fantasia, and I guess they call it residencies now.
That's the term I heard.
That's the term now, right? Yeah. So I had a couple of residencies, just from an opportunity that, doing something for free. And I tell people just to create your own opportunity, because people's really not going to mess with you unless you're doing something. And if you creating your own opportunity, they can get a chance to see you. I feel like I'm being long-winded. I'm sorry.
No problem. We here. This is all about you.
Nice,
and we talked about this sporadically about creating, and DJ So Lovely. She stated when she was getting into this certain club that she was just being so persistent.
Right.
They had to let her in.
Right.
They had to let her in. And that's a lesson for, no matter if you're new or you're seasoned in the game,
right?
Being persistent until, people are calling you like that.
Exactly.
And assuming that's what happened later on in your career. So downtime happens, you finish downtime, you go to Fantasia.
That was on Fulton Street.
Mm-hmm. How long were you there?
I was there about a year and a half. That's where I met Sky, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going there, and the owners was showing me around, and Sky was DJing, and he was like, "Yo, I know you." And I'm like, "Nobody knows me." He was like, "No, you at that club Downtime." I was like, "Oh, I guess you do know me." And my name was on the radio. I had drops on Hot 97, and I guess I was, I had a serious buzz there. And then, we was doing that. I was doing that for a year and a half, and then I had the opportunity to go to Japan with the a DJ competition. I wasn't partaking in it, but I was part of somebody hosting. And I went there, and then after that, I left Fantasia, so people kind of still. People knew my name now, so I was doing a lot of, different parties like Fahrenheit, B-52s. I can't think of a lot of other clubs, and I was doing a lot of clubs, and a funny story, and like I said, you never know who you're talking to. A good friend of mine calls me and tells me, "Yo, I need your help." And I was like, for what? I'm doing a party, and I mean, I'm doing this event, and I need you to talk on the mic. So, I'm kind of Harry know this too. Me and Harry used to change the names of songs and change the words to songs.
I still do it.
Right, I still do it too. So I know lyrics and stuff like that. So me having the knowledge of how the record breaks and how the record changes and the tempo of the record and when the things change about the record, I know when to say stuff. I don't never talk on the words. So my friend called me and said, "Yo, I'm doing this event. Can you meet me?" I was like, "Okay." So we go to this. I forget where it was at. Some place in Long Island. And then I was like, "Yo, who's this event? Like this place is huge." He said, "It's for Ashanti." I said, "Ashanti, Ashanti?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, I'm going to be on the mic for Ashanti." He said, "Yeah." So he's DJing and we going back and forth. But before the concert start, I'm sitting there talking to this gentleman, Kincaid. We just chatting it up before everybody doing sound check. We just chatting it up. Then the show starts. So we did the show. And that was a Saturday, and I never forget. On Wednesday, I get a phone call, and my boy called me that was DJing. Shout out to DJ Precise, and he calls me and say, "I got Kincaid on the line," and I was like, "Kincaid," and I'm like, "Why that name rings a bell?" And he said, and so Kincaid said, "Why you never told me you was a DJ?" And I was like, "Oh, Kincaid, the guy I was talking to." He said, "Why you didn't tell me you was a DJ?" I said, "I don't know. We just was just kicking it, you know what I'm saying?" And he said, "What are you doing Saturday?" And I was like, nothing." He said, "Well, Ashanti, we doing a concert in Detroit or Michigan, somewhere in Michigan." And I was like, "Are you asking me to DJ for her?" He said, "Yeah, I'm her tour manager." So all of this time, I'm talking to her tour manager. And I said, "Well, what about Precise? Because he said, yeah, he can't do it. He was doing something for MTV." And I was like, "Okay." So he said, "Well, can you come to rehearsal Thursday?" So I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. So I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. So I leave work and this was that transition between records and CDJs and stuff like that. It was kind of confusing right now, a confusing time for me. And I went out to Long Island and he picked me up and I'm in the car and he's like, "Why you didn't tell me you was a DJ? I could have used you before." And I'm like, "What is happening?" And I never forget this.
Is this real?
Yeah, and then it gets even crazier. This red two-door Mercedes-Benz zoomed right by me. Zooming, zigzagging in the street. And I'm all fascinated with the car, not who's in it. And lo and behold, we turns into this rehearsal place and the car turns into the rehearsal place. And that's when the first time I met Ashanti.
Nice.
And from there, I did a couple of shows, and this was like right after her second album. So she was working on the third album. So it was Beyonce, Alicia Keys, and Ashanti, like the top R&B people. So it was a really good time. And after I toured with her, like I looked at clubs completely different. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to do no clubs no more. What am I doing?
Shout out to Talk of the Town. What's up,
what up, Shice?
DJ Howie D said, "Nice."
What up, Howie? I ran into Howie a couple of times too in the '90s too, and I want to shout out to Howie because he was established at that time, and he never saw me like as less than what he was. You know what I'm saying? You know how
Right.
you see some new people and be like, "Oh, you a new guy," or "You don't know about this," because Howie was doing them grown folks parties. You know what I'm saying? And
Bow tie.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like on his interview, it's so true. You couldn't even get into some of his parties. I was at that era where things was kind of changing. They starting to accept hip hop a little more. You know, R&B kind of had that hip hop feel. You know, Bad Boy was really taking off, and I can tell you some stuff about Bad Boys and Motown. They was battling in the club and the street teams,
Hey,
and
we here. Tell them.
man, Puffy, everybody came to that club, and everybody came to the club. I mean, I met. I'm gonna save this one for last because that's if I had any regrets, that's one of them. But Puffy was there. I met Missy. I got Missy signed my 702 album. Gina Thompson. To this day, me and Jason Weaver is cool. NBA players. Everybody. We was the hottest club in the city, and then that's the first time I met Kid Capri. He came, and he was there. And, you know, everybody loved Red, so I was like, Red, introduce me. Red, introduce me. You know, so he introduced me to him. And one day I get there to the club, man, and Red wasn't there. And I saw this guy with braids and all of this stuff, and he's looking over the turntables. And I'm like, look at this corny dude looking like Coolio. Everybody, and this when Coolio was big, he was huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at this corny. Everybody following. New York is falling off. And I was like, oh, you know, you want to become a DJ? And I said that to the dude. And I was like, yo, that's Coolio. That's straight up. Coolio is in my club looking at my stuff. And he was like, nah, you know, I want to stick to rapping. And we just started striking up this conversation. And I'm like, is this really Coolio? So that was my first kind of shell shock. And that's when that East Coast, West Coast was kind of starting. And some people came up to us and said, oh, can I take a picture? So I stepped out the way, thinking they just wanted a picture with Coolio. They said, no, you too. And I was like, oh, wow. And that's when I'll never forget this. He did like this. Can you see it? And he put it on my chest like that and took a picture. And I was like this. I didn't know what that. I was so paranoid. And I was like, okay, let me act like I know what I'm talking about. And then we took another couple other pictures. So Coolio was there. So I started talking to him like, you know, why are you doing it? What you doing here? Da-da-da. He said, I'm doing Saturday Night Live tomorrow. And you in my club Friday. I was like, that was amazing. And my second OS moment was Biggie was standing behind me. Biggie and Little Steve's was standing behind me. And that's when One More Chance was big and the R. Kelly Happy. And I had a routine, you know, when R. Kelly make it happy, make it. I usually go back and forth to like kind of hype up Biggie's part. And I was so nervous because he was right behind me. I was so nervous. I was scared to death. And the other thing I regret is a lot of the people that came to the club, I had them sign my record. I didn't get his autograph. I didn't get Biggie's autograph. Yeah, I got Mace's autograph. And it's so funny. Mace asked me to play the 112 remix. And I was like, I got you. I was gonna play it anyway because it was hot. You know what I'm saying? But it made me look even better because, you know, I played it and kind of like his request. But all of this started just me creating my own lane. You know what I'm saying? Me creating my own opportunity to DJ. And it's not about the money at times. It's not about if you love what you do, you know, that's what you do. And I remember you said something in one of your other interviews. You have to love it. If you think that this is a job, you shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't do it because you're gonna deal with so much BS. And in that club, people looking at me and I'm making all of this money because I had a nice car at that time too. and they thinking I was making all of this money from DJing. I made $50 a
But
week.
was it the Legend at the
I
time?
had the Acura, yeah, I had the white Acura Legend Super Coupe, and I'm coming to the club and stuff like that. And I was making $50 a week, and I never forget the promoter told me, I was like, yo, can I get a couple of dollars when Red is not there? And he told me no. He said no, and if you don't like it, you can leave. And I was like, wow. And that was really kind of tough to swallow, especially when you feeling yourself. You're in the hottest club, you're on the
Yeah.
radio. People looking at you as
Feeling
like
you.
a celebrity status, and for the promoter really not to appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? But I was getting other things, and I had to realize what I was getting. I got Jay-Z's first album from Clark Kent. Like, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like certain things, like I got offers to work for Def Jam. I got offers to work for Mercury Records. Um, I had I had to hook up with Bad Boy as far as all of their so DJs, there's certain levels of DJs. DJs on the radio get first options for records. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Red was getting everything like yesterday, tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I was right behind him. I was right behind him with getting records, and that's because of the opportunity, me working in the club, and I got parties from there. So if anybody's out there listening, and if you're getting crap wages, you know what I'm saying? Use that opportunity to be heard, and especially now you got social media, like stream until they cut you off, take pictures at the parties. Nobody's going to promote you better than you're going to promote yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you just can't expect, I'm a dope DJ, and you expect somebody going to knock at your door and just hire you. And if they're going to hire you, they're going to hire you on their terms. You understand? If you create your own path and they want you to work, they got to oblige to your terms. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big difference. And that's how it was with Fantasia, because I was at Downtime and they wanted me to come to their club, which they wanted to be honest with you, they wanted to compete with Downtime. We was on the radio, we was crazy. And they wanted to compete with that. And I just had enough of, to be honest with you, the hater. One of the promoters was just a hater. He was just a hater, just plain and simple hater. And that's just his nature. But I thank him because when I left that place, like I made sure that I got to get better. I got to get better. I got to get better. I got to learn this. I got to learn this. I got to learn this. And I just paid attention really more to kind of impress him. But I remember I did a party. It was like 500-600 people, man. That's when New York had clubs in a sense, and everybody had a great time. And I'm moving my records in the car, and everybody's out. Yo, Red did his thing. Red did his thing. Red killed it. Red wasn't even there. And I was like, damn, they didn't even know I was DJing. But then I thought about, man, I was good enough that people thought that he was DJing.
Yeah.
And so I had the battery in my back. So I went to this one promoter and I said, yo, how did I do? He said, you was all right. And I was like, what?
Red was better, and he wasn't even there.
Right. And he said, you was all right. That messed me up that whole week. But it just made me who I am today. And some people you just can't please. And I tell DJs once again, if you please 85% of the people that you DJ in front of, that's all you need to do. Because there's going to be some people that just don't like you for whatever reason. You light skin, you dark skin, you tall, you got a nice car, you got a wife, you got a girlfriend. For whatever reason, they're going to find reasons not to like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Shout out to DJ So Lovely. What's
up,
going
So Lovely? How are you? I loved her interview too. She was good. She had a lot of energy.
A lot of energy. She showed us, and I keep saying it, she showed us, that excitement in DJing again.
Right. Exactly.
Put needles on them turntables and start spinning.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So two things I want to talk about before we move into your next phase when you went digital. The when you were back in the day, let me show you a little something.
I can't see it. Oh my God.
You
Put it
remember
on, what's that? Put it on entertainment? Wait, that's like my first
that's what
business
they
card.
probably hold on.
Oh my
And
goodness. Where you get that from? I don't even have that.
I know.
So
Take
I
that,
was trying to
take
play
me
with the
back to
Chinese and the Tommy Lee, you know what I'm saying?
there.
I was trying to do that Tommy Lee,
Yeah,
the play on that.
back to that point in your career where you were put it on. What, where were you in your career? Were you already at Downtime? Were you already at Fantasia? Were you not in any of them places?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of the question.
I said take us back to the point where you made that card. Where
Okay.
where in your career were you? Were you
That
already there?
no, that was super early. I didn't know because I think put it on is I think that was a phrase that I used to say or something like that. And I didn't have no direction. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just because people was asking me, "You got a card? You got a card? You got a card?" So I thought gimmicks and all of that stuff. That's how you do stuff. So like when I look at my business cards, I'm like, oh my God, like wow, what was I thinking? But just like with anything, you got to start somewhere, and
You gotta
whenever
start
you
somewhere.
yeah, whenever you start, you outgrow what you have, then you just go on to the next step, and that's just like with the records. You start this way, and then you gradually keep going, and you get better at everything that you
Now we still say records, and I missed the vinyl era. I gotta be honest with everybody. I'm old school. There is no way you can get an MP3 that looks like
do.
this.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you something.
Please.
I had something for you. I'm not even going to show it to you now. That's a 45.
That's a 45, bro. You cannot
What
get
song is
it
that?
like that, huh?
What song is that?
This is Bobby Caldwell. What you won't do
Really?
on 45, a heart,
I'm on
bro.
my way to your house. You know that,
At
right?
LP.
You know that, right? I'm on my way to your house.
That's why I miss the vinyls
I
and
had something for you, but I don't even want to show it anymore.
some of the covers.
I had something for you. Hold on.
DJ Woody said he has that. Look at that. You
Look at
cannot
this.
get that stuff on MP3. That is
Yeah.
beautiful. With
The
the
artwork.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
And some of them had the words on the whole album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yo, that is so funny. What do we got? DJ Woody said, "What's up, Tommy Lee?"
What's up, Woody? I loved his interview. I want to come to his house too. I saw his record collection.
I told you all I need is a bathroom and a kitchen, and I could live in that place for about 3 years.
Hmm.
So, all right. So going back to your transition to digital, around what year was this when you started thinking or started seeing that transition and you wanted to take that transition?
Um, the first transition I saw was the CDJs.
CDJs, yeah.
And remember Source magazine and all of those magazines. I remember DJ Scratch. He did a interview, and he reviewed the Pioneer CDJs, and it was no YouTube or whatever like that. And
Right.
he said they okay, whatever. I forgot what but he wasn't in love with them, and I was like, oh, okay. So back then, I was getting records in the mail. So all of the record labels was mailing me the promotional stuff. And then I noticed they started adding CD singles in them. And I'm like, oh, what's this? A CD single? Like it was literally a CD with a single song, just like a 12.
One or different versions of that
Right.
song.
So I started getting that, and I was like, whatever. And I was giving it out. I was giving CDs. Oh, you want this? You want? I don't need it. I don't. And that's the I don't know if there's a better word, but that's the ignorance of me of change. Change was coming, but I didn't. I kind of.
You didn't accept it.
Yeah, I didn't accept it. I slept on it. You know what I'm saying? So I was giving. So people was coming to me. Oh, you got this? Let me check. I was like a record store. But then I started getting one record, and then I'm getting one CD. And I'm like, I'm calling my people like, yo, why you only send me one? Because they started cutting back on the vinyl. And and then I remember Uptown Records, especially rest in peace, Andre Harrell. The vinyl started getting real cheap. Like
yeah, you remember?
It was starting getting real thin, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know what we talk about, especially the new DJs. But this is the evolution of where we going, and the records started getting real cheap, and there were certain songs I couldn't get, and if I didn't have my connections with the labels, you know, they wasn't in the store. You had to buy the album, and you know, when you buy albums and when you play 12 inches, the albums are more compressed. So the sound is different than the 12 inch.
Yeah.
It's lower, exactly. So sometimes you had to get an album and it was just, it don't sound the same. Like, where's this? So, you know, so I started realizing, like, you know what? Let me take a look at these CD joints. And I couldn't get the concept. It didn't spin. So I had a guy in Sam Ash, and he was like, yo, Technique is coming out with something. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. So I waited. I don't know if you can see it. You see it right there, that silver?
Yeah.
Vaguely?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a technique. That's a technique, DZ 1200. And the platter spins and everything. And it kind of emulates the turntable. But I thought I was doing something with that, and I says no. And I did a party, and I never forget this guy. This is the only time I can honestly say somebody like tore me down at a party, and I was using those, and he was using the Pioneer joints, the Pioneer things, and I have nothing for him because I didn't know how to burn the records and download and all of that stuff. So that transition was crazy. So and I was listening to the radio, and I was listening to some DJ, and he's playing the song, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's no way that you can find that part of the record that fast. You just put that record on. So I'm like, hold on. So I went to Big Brother, and I said, Red, like, how he's doing that? He said, oh, it's Serato. And I was like, really? He said, I heard about it. And I said, so I asked him, do you use it? He said, yeah, he used it. So once he said that he used it and he's on the radio, there's, 100,000 people every day listening to him. I'm pretty sure he.
What year was this?
Huh?
What year was this?
So I went on tour with Ashanti 2004, and I used a CD player, and that's a horror story. I tell you that. I didn't have the computer, so this was about 2005 to 2006. Serato came out. I got Serato the first year it came out, like a couple of months after it came out, and I'm pretty sure the radio DJs they had first crack at it. So I had Serato ever since it first came out. The SL1. I still use it. I still use it today.
Nice. I got that downstairs.
Yeah. Oh, you was with me when you bought yours. I was with you when you bought yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's still in the box.
It's still in the box. So I know if something happens to mine, you know who I'm calling. You're like, oh.
For a small fee, anything is possible.
Totally, I totally get it. I totally get it.
So, you using Serato. What made you go to Serato? Was that the only thing out at the time,
There
or
was like
is it because everybody was using it?
there was like virtual DJ. Um, I don't know if Tractor was out yet, but virtual DJ was out, and then Red was using it. That's all I needed to know. You know, Red was using it. He was the biggest DJ in the world. Excuse me. He was the biggest DJ in the world at that time. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna look into that. And then another friend of mine, once again, shout out to DJ Precise, he had it. And I was just looking over his shoulder, and you know, he was doing it, but he had a PC, and we DJing at a party, and you know, he got all of these pop-ups coming up. So I'm under the impression that that was Serato, and his computer froze while we was doing this party. So once again, I was on the mic for him and stuff like that. And you know, DJ support other DJs. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was always doing with him. And his computer froze. So I'm, you know, talking on the mic. That happens, like a record skip. You know, so you talking to Mike, yo, Zodiac signs, blah 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 blah. And I'm looking, I'm like, bro, what's going on? And I don't know. I was like, yo, turn your computer off. Like, do something. Like, you just standing there. But then I realized, and just talking to people and just getting whatever information that I can about Serato. And then once I got it and I started using it, I was like, oh, turntables are back. Turntables are back.
So you knocked the dust off. You knocked the dust off your 1989,
Let me
1990.
tell you, I had clothes, I had books on top of them, because I thought it was over for them.
Yeah.
I thought it was over. So I got Serato about 2000, 2005, 2006. Because I remember when I was touring with Ashanti, I had a record bag, and I had pre-made CDs. Yeah, pre-mixed CDs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So up to that point, who did you get to work with to that 2006 time frame and back from the 80s, 90s? What other DJs did you get to
What
work
other DJs?
besides Red? We heard his name once or twice.
I don't know if I really. Oh, okay. I had to think. Me and Ted Smooth did a party up in New Paltz. I worked with Ted Smooth. Javier. Man. DJ Tall Guy. I'm not really sure who I really worked with, because I really didn't pay attention to people. And that's another thing I really kind of regret, because I had this like, you better bring your A game if you're going to play with me. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't really kind of think about anybody else, and like, yo, how you doing? I'm Tommy Lee. Let's become friends. And that's something that I kind of regret, because I really didn't create allies early. I know better now, but I've met so many people. You know what I'm saying? But I should have been more of a ally to a lot of DJs, opposed to them as my competition. They could have still been my competition, and I'm still to this day. I got to be the best that I can be. And I feel, you know, maybe I should have, you know, I didn't know the business. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn the business. I had to learn how to smile. I had to learn how to use my personality so I don't be so threatening. And so many people don't think that I'm, you know, trying to take their job, or when I was trying to take their job. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I DJ. I played with a lot of different people and performed with a lot of different people, because I was doing ski trips. I was working with this company, and they had me traveling, doing ski trips, and I worked with Kevin Hart, Trey Songz, early Chris Brown. Who else is bunch of comedians, bunch of Lloyd, lot of a lot of people that around that time.
Right.
I think I work with more artists than I work with DJs.
And the DJ.
Yeah, I think I work with more artists than I work with DJs. Yes.
So going back to 2006 and forward now, how has your career progressed? Where has it taken you? We already know that you went to Japan, which was overseas once. Have you been back overseas anytime for DJing?
You consider Mexico? Mexico is not really overseas.
It's another country.
Yeah, it's another country. Mexico, Canada. I did Spain. I can't think of the city in Spain. And it was funny in Spain, when I went to Spain, I'm thinking they wanted to hear, you say, like, what was it before EDM? What's it called? Real fast music. Techno. Right. I thought they wanted to hear techno and stuff like that, and they were looking at me like I was crazy. Then the guy that got me out there, he's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, I'm doing what they do here. He's like, "No, we don't want that. That's why we brought you here. Like, do what you do there." And I didn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So I started playing hip hop and. Yeah, I started playing hip hop and I got in my comfort zone and nobody was dancing. And I was like, oh, this sucks. But I had to realize, like, no, they actually want to see what I do. They want to hear the music, but they want to see what's the big deal. Like,
so you got a whole bunch of people just looking at you like,
right? This. And I'm like, and I'm a club DJ. I'm a party DJ. Right? I'm a party DJ, and I wasn't really sure what was going on, but just talking to people and understanding the business and as Cam said, checking the temperature of the room, you just learn those things. And, I put international in front of my name and that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know anything after that. You know what I'm saying? I just, I could use international. I'm going to go overseas. And it's a whole lot to this business, to this, to getting music, to understanding people, to understanding coaches. Certain things you might not want to do, certain ways you want to, deliver yourself and the way you speak to people. They might not be used to people on a microphone. So, you just got to do your research. And that's just like with the technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you want to continue DJing, you have to be involved with it. You have to, constantly seeing what's going on and kind of seeing what other DJs do and and that's another thing, like this platform that you have, like you have all of these different DJs talking about different technology. You're talking about the Phase and you're talking about Serato and you're talking about controllers and stuff like that, and that's really important because I know, and most people are stuck in their ways, but technology, there's no love in technology. You know what I'm saying? They're going to change instantly. And I never forget when I bought my first Mac, and 3 months later, the same Mac went down in price and the new Mac came out with more RAM and more power and a different color. And I was like, I just bought this and I want the black one, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and then I started realizing, technology has no love for it.
No, whatever you buy right now is already outdated.
Exactly. And I'm still, and it's funny, like, and kind of fast forward into now, like I'm a big Rain supporter, and unfortunately I got some connections with Rain, and I played at their booth. I play at their booth at the DJ Expo in Atlantic City, and I think hopefully we're gonna do it this year too, if the world opens up. But
opens back up.
Right. But the technology, they came out with the 72 mixer, and just from my experience, not to buy it as soon as it come out. You know what I'm saying? And people jumped on it, and I'm like, my contact was like, I can give you the artist discount and stuff. I'm like, oh, let me go get this. Let me go get this. And I was like, let me wait. And I'm glad I did because it had a couple of glitches. Then they updated the software, and what 2 years later, now they got the Rain 70, and I'm waiting on that one though. I want to get that one. Technology, man. You gotta stay on
in
it.
the house.
What's up, bro? How's everything?
DJ Bruce actually asked Tom, "Look where you are today." He made a statement. Look where you are today.
I know, man.
Getting back from 2006 and on.
Like my shirt?
How has everything progressed for you? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Quarantine house party.
Yeah. If anybody want any, just hit me up.
Hit them up.
Anybody want them? I'm sorry. What was the question? I'm sorry.
From 2006 to now, how's everything progressed? Where are you? Were you doing clubs? Were you going overseas? What was going on from 2006 taking to now?
Man, once I okay, now I know. Once I started touring and working with the artists, clubs was out of there. That was it for me. And then I was working with a company doing ski trips, and so I was doing that. Then I created my own company, T Rock Ridge Enterprises, and I realized like since everything is going digital, so many more DJs are out now, and I realized a lot of DJs really don't have a sound system. You know what I'm saying? So I created a platform where this how it started. This was the plan. It didn't go that way, but for DJs to
it never does.
It never goes this way. For DJs to rent my sound system. You know what I'm saying? So 2008, I got I forgot what happened. I got a phone call. Oh, my wife's friend was. My wife was on the phone with her friend, and her friend knew this guy, and her friend asked. She said, "Tommy, your husband DJ?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "My friend needs a DJ for a parade," and she hooked me up with him, and my company got an account with PepsiCo. Now, what people fail to realize is, and I didn't even know too, PepsiCo, and I'm saying to myself, PepsiCo sounds like Pepsi. and it was. But I didn't realize Pepsi owns Doritos, Lay's, every damn near potato chip that you can
don't know about.
Right. I didn't realize that. So I got plugged into that company. So my company was doing their parades, and then I got connected with Champion, and I was doing lacrosse tournaments, believe it or not. And from
I do believe it.
Yeah, I was doing lacrosse tournaments, and from
I was there with a couple of.
When we went to Denver.
You're old.
I forgot. My bad.
Denver. We went to Boston.
We went to right.
Raven Stadium.
I forgot. Right. Yeah, I'm old. I'm trying to act like I don't know you. Right, we went to Denver when it was crazy windy.
With 40 years.
Right, when it was crazy windy. Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. I forgot. But right, I was doing the lacrosse tournament. So and then with the lacrosse tournament, there's a company, Flow Society, and they make clothes for lacrosse players. Then they sell, and Champion was a part of that. And then something happened with them, and they kind of split up. And then I was doing stuff with Champion, and then, like I said, I created my account, and I totally became official. And now my company is a part of the New York City Small Business and Minorities Company. Small business minority and small business, something like that. So my company is registered with the city. So now I'm the official DJ for the mayor of New York City. So I've
Nice.
been doing that for man, like 4 years now.
Nice.
And then I got a couple other accounts with Total Wireless, and it's funny because I wanted to create my company to provide sounds for just regular DJs,
Yeah.
but then I realized, the corporate route would be easier. I mean, it's not easier, but it's just a little different. I didn't really want to be in that club world anymore.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to the good promoters out there, but there's a lot of promoters really believe that people are coming to see them. They not coming to see you, bro.
They're
If
not
that was the case, you can get any DJ for your party.
them.
Huh?
I said they're not coming they're not promoting the party. They're promoting themselves.
Yeah, and some promoters, man, they that's another conversation. But I didn't want to be in that space, and Howie and all the other DJs can tell you coming in the house 4 or 5 in the morning, and that gets a little tiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was making more money than them doing the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
Working less time.
And this is why your story was so interesting to me, is because you took it from DJing at somebody's house in the projects.
Yeah,
Now,
Kamel's house. Yeah,
being the music person for the city of New York,
yes,
the mayor.
yeah.
And it just tells you where you can go if you keep going and if you want these things to happen. So big shout out to you for
Thank
making
you.
that leap.
Thank you.
I know you're on the radio because I announced
Oh,
it.
I forgot all of the. Oh wow, thanks. I forgot all of the radio stuff. I did the internet. Well, I did BLS. I used to do what is it called? Live broadcast. Forgot it was on Saturday or Friday. That was short lived though. The club they was doing it from, they had a falling out. I got involved with that on the tail end. Then I was doing internet radio, and I'm still on internet radio. I'm on a station in Buffalo. That's a FM station. They do Buffalo, parts of Canada, Niagara Falls, that area, not Cleveland, Ohio area. You know how you got the tri-state here? Now you got I'm sorry, you in Virginia, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So Buffalo got like Buffalo, Ohio, and certain parts of Canada. So I'm on up there. I was doing Worldcast Radio. I did that for about 4 years, and now I do create radio with my man Cam, and we got this show every Saturday, back to back. So we going live every Saturday, and that's another thing. Like, and just create people to create your own opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Cam called me and I said, yo, I'm down, and I put my 2 cents in, and he put another 2 cents in, and we came up with this amazing concept. And it's just fun, man. And one thing I like about internet radio, you can't tell me what to play. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing the Bee Gees. I'm playing David Bowie. I'm playing Biggie. You know what I'm saying? These are the songs I grew up on. I'm playing the Rolling Stones, Missing You. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had some people ask me like, yo. And I'm like, oh, you didn't think I was going to play that? He said, I didn't think you was going to play it. But my thing is, what made you play it? No, like what? I didn't think you. I told people you didn't think I know that. He said, no, it's not that. What made you play it? So I didn't know how to take it. Like, he's like, yo, I love this song. So and if you want to be,
y'all be killing it.
Thank you. And if you want to be something, you can't be restricted, man. Like, If you don't like it, I'm not your cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Then there might be 3, 4 other people like, yo, did you hear that? I haven't heard that. I didn't heard Michael McDonald in forever.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of music, so that's just
Not just hip hop.
not
What
just hip hop.
would what music do you listen to that people would be surprised you listen to?
I listen to all music, but I have my mood. So if I'm driving in the car, I gotta listen to the Curtis Mayfield Superfly soundtrack. Oh man, let me tell you, boy. Talk about music.
I can see you in a hat with a feather in it.
Oh my goodness. And like the staple singers, Let's Do It Again. And then if I'm on a plane, right before I take off, I listen to Limp Bizkit. Give me the nookie. I love that album, that first album. Limp Bizkit, yeah. Cause like what is it? Limp Bizkit, Korn, Prodigy, especially Prodigy. They had hip hop beats behind them, especially Prodigy. Like Prodigy got boom, it's just mad fast.
It's
Like
just faster.
yeah. Limp Bizkit is like people hip hop. If there's a thing like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but just the guitar and the riff and just the energy. Like if you're on the runway and you about to take off and and the plane is shaking and it's like,
So you got some headbanger music for
yeah, because your head is shaking anyway, so you might as well.
I can see somebody's like, sir, can you turn that down?
That's why you got to invest in good headphones.
Take it off.
You got to invest in good headphones.
Oh man. So we are about
Time flies, man.
after 9 o'clock.
Is it?
Yo,
Oh my goodness! Wow.
it is. And you already answered the last question, but I'm gonna ask it again. What would you tell? This is my last question. What would you tell a new DJ coming in who's fresh, want to get into the business, want to know how to connect to people? What would you tell them?
Music. Get music even before you have your equipment. Get your music before you get your equipment. Like whatever controller costs, whatever controller costs, if it's $1,000, whatever level you're gonna get, take that money and buy music. Understand record pools. Understand how the record labels work, because you can get some free music. It's really not free. They expect you to play it in front of people, but it's not monetary.
Right.
Yeah, totally get your music, because excuse me, regardless if you get your controller, and most likely people gonna get controllers now, or the Rain joints, the Rain 70s. Those are nice. But get your music, man, and understand your music. Understand just music in general. Understand the 8 count. Understand the bridge. Understand outros. Understand intros. Understand when the music breaks, and don't talk over the artist singing. Don't talk on the artist.
Oh, that's killer.
The people. You gotta understand something. DJs are just a vessel. DJs are a vessel of bringing joy to other people. And you didn't make the song, bro. Nobody really want to hear you talk over the song. They want to hear the song. Now, when you got the break and there's a break in the song, get your words in, shout your name, promote yourself, do everything that you're supposed to do. But yeah, get your music and create your own opportunities. Once you got your music, once you got your system, create your own opportunities. And especially now, with everybody streaming, DJs are giving away secrets. You know what I'm saying? If you don't listen to these DJs giving away these secret songs, and Shazam is out, there's no excuse for you not to have or to know these songs. Because the good thing about music is you know a good song when you hear it, no matter what music you play. You can hear jazz, you can hear Donald Byrd and be like, what's this? I don't know this, but this is some funky jazz. And then you start hearing a break. Oh, Black Moon. Oh, I know this. Black Moon did this. Like, yeah, just give it a chance. You know what I'm saying? So, Bobby Bluebird and you know, and I tell the DJ, get James Brown's whole catalog. James Brown and Stevie Wonder's whole catalog. You'd be such in a different place. But and create your own opportunity though. Stream, get in front of people, volunteer to do barbecues. I remember you was talking to somebody as far as the price. You don't do parties for this much and this much. You at that level, you just got to make sure that you give them that price.
Right.
Like before, I tell people I don't leave my house after a certain amount of money because it costs me more. But I got me a little controller. I put my laptop in my controller and I'm out the door. I got some good speakers. And you know what? If you want to charge me, if you want to give me $200 for 3 hours, you're going to get a $200 sound system. You're not going to get a $200 DJ because you're going to play to your best ability. But you're going to get a $200 sound system. And everything now is so mobile, you can just put it in your car. You don't need a van or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So use that opportunity because somebody at the baby shower or at the barbecue, they might be getting married. And then that's where you get your money. So no matter what level you're on, you should take advantage. That's one thing I learned about Red too, man. Like he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no other way of doing it. And I remember I pulled up to the club and he opened my trunk and grabbed my records and started walking them in. And I'm like, who do I think I am? Because and I know all of the DJs that's online. Y'all know when y'all pull up to the club or at a party, there's always some people outside lingering, willing to help you in. You know what I'm saying? So I had my little crew that used to help me with my records, and Red grabbed my records and brought them in, and I'm like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? Let me go support this person at this place. Let me go support this person at this place. You know what I'm saying? And you can feel yourself, but don't think that that guy better than somebody. Better than the next dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You was at that point at one time too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And that's what people don't realize. You were there, and we talked about it. This whole interview process. Everybody starts at zero.
Red bro.
Started at zero at one time, and now he's pretty much well known all over. Do you want to be Tommy? Do you want to be that person that's well known all over, or you want to make your mark in this whole DJ world, or do your thing?
I think I'm making my mark already, but I don't know if I want to be that guy that's well known like that because there's a lot that goes into that. You know what I'm saying? And some people, I was. What was it? This club on 40th Street and 7th Avenue. I forgot what it was. It was a big club, not a club, a lounge. And I was playing there, and this guy said, "Yo, where you been? Yo, where you been?" And I used to be guilty of this too, thinking people falling off. Like, oh, you fell off. I ain't see you in the club in forever. That don't mean that I'm not DJing. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, like, you're not going to see me on the flyer. You might see me on the flyer, but you're really not going to see me on too many flyers. That don't mean I'm not DJing.
Right.
Before the pandemic, I did the Museum of Natural History for Black History Month. It was 1,200 people.
Wow.
There's no flyer for that. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
There's no flyer for that.
DJ.
I did that. I do every parade in New York City. Like there's no flyer for that. You know what I'm saying? The gay pride parade, people say, "Oh, how many people that you DJ'd in front of?" And it used to be like, I wasn't the main guy, but like 18, 20,000 people. And then I started doing these parades, man, and I see on the news the gay pride parade had 2.2 million people.
You know what I'm saying?
And we made the New York Times. Shout out to oh, please don't let me forget her name right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. She's Madonna's DJ. It'll come to me. I don't want to forget her name. But we made the New York Times. And man, I don't want to forget her name. I don't want to think about it. But there's no flyers for that, and I can do the parade and just drive home and be normal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember me and Red was coming out of Rock and Soul. Shout out to Rock and Soul. They open, by the way. Please support them. And me and Red was leaving Rock and Soul, and this girl comes up to him and say, "Oh my God, you hip hop, you this, you that, you this." And I have to be honest with you, some of my friends, I do forget the caliber of their success, because they super humble, and Red really showed me how to maneuver like that. And she was like, "You hip hop, you this, you this, you this," and she just left. So I'm looking at him like, how you deal with that? And he told me something I'll never forget, and this can apply to everybody in everybody's life. He said, "How long did that take?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "How long did that take for that girl to just tell me all of that stuff?" I said, "Like 4 or 5 seconds." I'm going to give you the short version. He said, that 3 seconds, that 5 seconds will make her 24 hours. That changed my outlook of everything. By me saying hello, or me shouting somebody out, or me showing up to your baby shower, or me showing up to your... Depends on how hole in the wall your place is. I still gotta protect myself. You know what I'm saying?
DJ Fame said her name is DJ Mary Mac.
Mary Mac, thank you, Fame. Oh my good, 5-star DJs. Shout out to Mary Mac. That's big sister right there. Thank you, Fame. I'd have felt so bad of forgetting about it. And Mary Mac is a performer, man. And yeah, 2.2 million people. Like, and then you think, how do you fathom that? Just think about from, what is it, 28th Street all the way down to 5th Avenue on 7th Avenue, across Christopher Street, and then back up to 28th Street, full of people. That's your 2.2 million people.
That's what that looks like.
That's what that looks like. Mind you, not even including people in the windows and the terraces and the helicopters and
the roof
and a contingency of mad people behind me. Follow me on Instagram, International DJ Tommy Lee. I already posted the Puerto Rican Day Parade from last year. I'm going to post that parade on my Instagram, and then you can see some of the images and stuff like that.
Roger that. We'll get all your information and put it in the description, so everybody can be able to reach out to you, follow you, and subscribe.
I appreciate that. This is amazing, Harry. I have to admit, man, and I was super excited, and I just want to thank you, Harry, for putting this together, giving me an opportunity to tell my story, and I hope people find it interesting, and I hope people get some information, and if anybody want to reach out to me, just hit me up. I got so much knowledge of
Knowledge.
just what's going on with technology and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I'm still learning.
We could keep talking forever.
I know it's about 10:30 now. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to end this. Thank you, Tommy,
Yes.
for doing this interview, and much continued success. You guys, DJ Cam, which is coming up. DJ Cam is coming up.
Killer.
You guys have a radio, free agent radio. You guys are on 8 o'clock to 12 midnight on
Yes.
Saturdays, correct?
Yes. Back to back.
Back to back. Every 30 minutes they switch off. So big shout out to that. I get on as much as I can.
You busy. You got the DJ interview going on.
I got this interview, but right after this, I jump on, and I'm like, yo, it just takes me back. So thank you guys for doing that, and being able to play what you feel like playing, and not what some radio station is paying you for.
Right.
So, Tommy, will you be able to come back on another time?
Anytime you need me, bro. We still didn't get into last year Atlantic City.
I know
we did 3,000-4,000 people. That's not on the flyer either, right?
Tell that story. Tell that story. I tell everybody about that weekend.
The weekend. That's what it's called. The weekend.
That's our name for it. The weekend.
Real quick, I won't tell the story, but Harry came to my house from Virginia, and Harry throws this event for a lot of the people in the neighborhood that we grew up with. And Harry stayed at my house, and my wife said, "Oh, you hanging out with Tommy this weekend?" He said, "Yeah, I want to hang out with him." And she said, "Good luck." He didn't really understand what was going on. She said, "Good luck."
I got my bag and like, yo, you gonna take your bag with you? I'm like, where are we going?
Where we didn't go.
And that's the thing, where we didn't go. Oh, that was a weekend, bro.
All right, we can talk all day, bro. Let's
I know.
let other people get on.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, man. Thank you, man.
Great night.
Take care.
Again, we had our interview with international DJ Tommy Lee. So we're gonna end this right here, and stay tuned. We're coming back. We're gonna have a special guest tomorrow, which you got to show up for, because you won't believe his story. So tomorrow, 8 o'clock. And for those who don't know what I'm doing, June is National DJ Month. So what I'm doing is interviewing one DJ or person that supports the DJ world every day for the next 15 days now, from the 1st to the 30th. So tune in and you'll see some interesting stories. We'll see you tomorrow around 8 o'clock.